All right, today we are going to talk about something fascinating, something you've probably even noticed yourself. We're calling it the cognitive wealth of digital silence.
So, have you ever been scrolling, just doing your thing, and you suddenly realize, I haven't seen a post from that friend in a while, like a really long while? I mean, one minute they're all over your feed, sharing photos, hot takes, life updates. They're just there. And then, poof, nothing. Their profile might still exist, but it's basically a digital ghost town.
Now, this isn't just some random thing that happens. It's actually a pretty distinct pattern. So for this first part of our explainer, let's call it the online vanishing act.
And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about someone who just forgot their password or dropped their phone in a lake. No. This is a deliberate, conscious choice to just step away. But why? Why would anyone do that? Well, to really get the why, we've got to first understand the system they're choosing to leave.
And that brings us to a huge concept, one that really props up the whole social media world, the validation economy.
Okay, so imagine social media as its own little economy. What's the currency? Well, it's not dollars, it's external validation. Every single like, every share, every oh my gosh, so true comment. It's like a tiny little paycheck, a little dopamine hit that tells your brain, hey, people see you, you matter. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? You could write the most profound, thoughtful thing in the world, but if it only gets like 2 likes, the platform, and let's be honest, our own brains, treats it as less valuable than a dumb cat meme that gets 1,000. The reaction becomes way more important than the actual content.
But here's where it gets interesting. For some people, something inside of them just starts to change, and this leads to a huge turning point, what we're calling the self-worth shift.
So this is really the core battle right here. On one side, you've got that external validation. It's fueled by the crowd, by likes and comments, and it lasts for maybe a few minutes, right? But on the other side, you've got internal self-worth. And that's fueled by totally different stuff. Your own growth, your values, your principles. The source isn't everybody else. The source is you. And that stuff, that's built to last a lifetime.
And this, right here, is the #1 reason for the vanishing act. It's not about being angry or dramatic. It's literally about growth. It's the difference between posting a picture of a new guitar to get a bunch of likes versus just quietly learning how to actually play that guitar for yourself. Your sense of value has moved from the outside world to the inside. You've just outgrown the game. But hold on, that's only half the story. There's another really critical resource we need to talk about, because once you understand this, it all clicks into place. So let's talk about your cognitive bandwidth. Think about it like this. Your brain power is kind of like your phone's battery. When you wake up in the morning, you start at 100%. Every single thing you do, big work projects, small stuff like figuring out dinner, it drains a little bit of that battery. That finite pool of mental energy you have for focusing and getting things done, that's your cognitive bandwidth. Now, take a look at this. This is basically a typical daily mental budget. You see that big chunk for work and responsibilities? Makes sense. Another for just, running your life. But look at that other big slice, mindless scrolling. For so many of us, that represents a huge piece of our daily mental energy, and we're spending it without even thinking about it. So here's the bottom line. Being on social media isn't free. It costs you. Thinking about what to post, keeping up with drama, dealing with arguments, even just scrolling, all of it comes at a cost. It is a direct expense on your limited cognitive budget. So when you put these two things together, that shift in self-worth and this new awareness of the cognitive cost, you end up at a really powerful place. And that brings us to our final section, the wealth of silence. When someone vanishes from your feed, it's so easy to see it as a loss, right? A disconnection, like something has ended. But what if it's not an ending at all? What if it's a reallocation? It's like making a smart financial investment, but the currency isn't money. It's your attention, your focus. They're taking all that cognitive bandwidth they were spending online, and they're deliberately investing it somewhere else. And this is the payoff. This is what we mean by cognitive wealth. It's that surplus of focus, that mental clarity, that creative energy you get back when you unplug from all that noise. It's a resource you can use to build real things. A new skill, a business, deeper friendships, or maybe just a bit more peace and quiet inside your own head. So that person who vanished from your feed, they didn't really disappear. They just decided to get rich in a completely different currency. And that leaves us with one final question, one to really think about. What could you build with your reclaimed cognitive wealth?